Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a little bit of a different type of guide. I'm basically going to be doing a video today on a pet making strategy that's been kind of coming out more publicly recently. But I think it's been around for quite a bit. I was only put onto it a couple months ago, and then I was using it for the pets I was making at the time, and then especially now for the hamsters that I'm slowly acquiring. I was thinking might as well make a video on the pet making strategy that I'm doing that will let you get 2.0 pets with the perfect meta pools, you know, triple doubles, quint damages, double pierces, quad damage proofs on any pet body you want. And yeah. So I think the two things that I'm going to be doing here is one, showing you and telling you kind of how it works. And then the second is a practical application of this strategy. I have my newly acquired ice hamster that I got a couple days ago. This is the Gen 1 version. This is straight out of the Ice Decathlon that I got on my life. And I've got the Mega Snacks to make the perfect pet. So we're going to be doing the process in action. Yeah, Pet Promenade has prepared me for this video. Hopefully I'm going to end this video with a 2.0 perfect ice pet. But yeah, so let me show you this is the guide basically. And so I don't know who it was exactly, but there are some very nice people that made perfect 2.0 pets with the perfect pools, and they put it for every school. There's one for every school. So as we can see here, for balance, you're going to be using the Searing Scorpion, which is found in the kiosk under the Fire School. Death, you're going to be using the Charged Dragon, which is under the Fire School. Fire, you're going to be using the Sparkling Elf, which is found under the Myth School. Ice, which we're going to be doing today, is found by the Gravewalker, which is under the Death School. Life finds Nature's Rage, which is under the Fire School. Myth uses the Phyclops, which is found under the Fire School. And Storm uses the Morzilla, which is found under the Death School. And under this are the pools that each pet has. And you could just see that it has all of the good talents that you want to see on these meta pets. So you got your Painbringer, Giver, Boon, Dealer, Giver, Proof Defy, Mighty, Breaker, Piercer. And this is consistent pretty much across all of them. There's a couple ones that are swapped, like we can see here. Pain Giver is second instead of third, whereas Pain Giver is third on most of the other ones, and Ice Giver is Pain Giver on the Ice Pet is fourth. But that doesn't really matter. What matters is that it has the entire pool. They are 2.0, and there's also a lot of them. As we're going to see with the Gravewalker for Ice, there's, I think, 3 Young Scouts in a row that are the exact same manifested talents. And so this is a little bit of the information on which sort of variants they have and which manifested talents that are in the kiosk. So it's just a really, really good resource to make these meta pets on whatever pet body you want. And so how this works, as you can see here, these pets are exclusive pet bodies. So if you haven't unlocked the pet body, and I believe these are all through spell weaving, then it's physically impossible for you to get that pet body, which means you'll always get your body back. And this is a similar thing with the hamster pets. As we can see on the ice hamster, this is an exclusive pet, which means if you haven't unlocked the ice hamster in like the pet tome, it means you physically cannot get it back. So the difference between the ice hamster and all the pets in this guide is that these pets here, these weaving pets, are kioskable, whereas the ice hamster or any of the other hamsters are not kioskable. So this is a rare breed of pets that are not only kioskable but also exclusives. But the first thing we have to do is get my Gen 1 pet to adult. So I'm gonna skip that really quick. It'll only take a little bit. All right, so we just got the Gen 1 hamster to adult. It got Striker and Ice Scout, which, I mean, doesn't really matter that much. I have 165k gold, so I'm going to see how much it takes to hatch first before I decide whether or not I need a... Okay, it costs 100k, so I'll probably use a next hatch free elixir. But just to show you guys this in practice, so when you look at the guide, if you want an ice pet, you want to look for the Gravewalker, which is found under Death. So under Death, we're going to go to Gravewalker, which is here, and then we see that it's Ice School only and then Death Weaving only. So it seems like the way you unlock this pet is through Death Weaving, and I think it's like rank 4 or something you would unlock this, or like through a special quest. But the important part is I don't have this pet unlocked in my tome on my ice, which means I will never get this pet body back. And we can see here Young Scout 2.0 stats. We look here, Young Scout, and then that's the talent pool. So we know that this is one of the pets that we're looking for. This one has Giver, Dealer, Proof, Mighty Breaker, which is pretty much the talent pool that I want. I just want to show you guys. Look, I clicked once. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. And then on the 5th one, we have a little bit different. So there's 4 of these exact pets. So there is a plethora of them where you can, if you're mass hatching, you could hatch, turn it to adult, come back in, hatch, turn it to adult, come back in, hatch, and not have to run into that issue of this pet is unavailable.
What the fuck?
Which again makes this even more useful as a pet hatching resource. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a next hatch free, and I'm just going to hatch with this one. And so my frost-shelled egg, which means I got the hamster back, which is the only pet I can get back. I'm just going to use a hatching elixir. And we can see on our first hatch, we got max agility. We might have had agility max, yeah. So we got 235, 245, 245, 247, 245, 235, now 252 and 250. So the stats went up a little bit. The pool also changed quite a bit. So we're going to train this up to adult, and then we'll do another hatch to keep trading over the max stats and the pool. Alright, so the second one got Dealer and Ice Striker. But again, whatever it got doesn't really matter that much. So now we're going to pop a Perot. We're going to pop a next hatch free. We're going to browse, death, look for the Gravewalker, and then we're going to hatch again. This is what I'm going to go for. Triple damage, Proof, Mighty Breaker. The third damage would be on a jewel, but obviously kiosk pets don't show what jewel they have. But we do know that Ice Giver is going to be here. We know Ice Giver is an uncommon that has one of these little circles. And then we know this is Boon and this is Painbringer. And we could reaffirm that on this. We can see that Ice Boon is the common, Painbringer is that rare, and then Ice Giver is that uncommon there. So we see that right there as well. Hatch again. We always get back the Ice Hamster. I'm just going to hatching elixir that again. We got Shaggy Henry. The stats went up a little bit more. We can see that we now have Ice Giver, we got Dealer, we got Proof is one of these 3 epics. No Defy yet, which is a little unfortunate. But again, we're going to be doing a few hatches to get everything over before we even really care about the pool, because we want to get those stats maxed. So I'm going to get this pet to adult, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so Shaggy Henry got Pain Giver and Spellproof, which is really good. Which makes me believe that this is Ice Giver, Pain Giver, Ice Dealer, Proof, and then we have some other stuff down here. We're just going to use a Perot and another next hatch free. Browse Pet, Death, go for the Gravewalker, and we'll do the same thing here. Frost Shell Egg. I'm going to hatching elixir that. And we got Prince Spike. So we've got a little bit more on the stats here. We've got strength is at max, power is at max, agility is at maxed. Will is 2 off, which if we're really considering what is 2.0, 260 is the max will. However, for like 11 dealer and 12 and 10 dealer and stuff like that, 258 is fine. But I'm still going to be doing at least 1 or 2 more hatches to try and get these stats a little bit up more on the intellect and the will. And it looks like we do now have Proof Defy here, but we didn't get the Ice Giver, unless this wasn't Ice Giver. It seems like it was the uncommon from the very first pet, so that wasn't even Ice Giver. So again, that's reaffirming that we're going to be doing another couple hatches before we even consider training anything past adult. So with that being said, I'm going to get this to adult, and then I'll be ready for the next hatch. Alright, so Prince Spike, which is the 4th pet I think we've got Dealer and Mighty, so that's pretty good. But again, we are going to Perot. Next hatch free. Browse, Death, and hatch with another Gravewalker. Frostshell Egg. We've got Happy Brutus. We're going to hatching elixir that. Unfortunately, the same stats as last time, but we did get a ton of the pool changed over. We can see Boon here, Painbringer here, Ice Giver here, Ice Dealer here, but no Proof. I don't know how that happened, but I digress. So we're still going to be hatching again and again to get these stats up and then a little bit more of the pool transferred over. So I'm going to get this to adult and then I'll be right back. Alright, so we got Happy Brutus, it got Mighty and Breaker. Really good talents. But alas, we are going to Perot, next hatch free, and do it again. Okay, we got the Frost Shelled. We're going to Hatching Elixir that. And we got Scruffy Fluffy. Okay. So we've got the Will maxed. The only one that's missing is Intellect, which... What is the max Intellect? I think max Intellect is 250. Let me confirm. Which I can luckily do pretty easily with the Gravewalker because these pets are all 2.0. Okay, max Intellect is 250. So I'm only missing 1 on the Intellect, which doesn't really matter that much to me. Because with the rest of the stats maxed, I'll always get 4 Pierce, I'll always get 11 damage, I'll always get 11 Proof, I'll always get 6 Defy, 7 on the Givers, 4 on the Boons. So that doesn't really matter that much. And we can see how much of the talent pool we've traded over if we refer to this. So let me move this in a way. Okay, so we're looking at Young Scout here. So we've got a rare at the top. So we're missing Boon, which is, I think that's fine with me ultimately. So we've got Bringer, Ice Giver, Pain Giver, Ice Dealer, Proof, Defy, Mighty is that first ultra rare, I would assume, or it could be the second one. And then Epic is Armor Breaker, and then that last ultra rare is Armor Piercer. So the only talent we're missing is Ice Boon, and in our talent pool on these hamsters, it's one of these ultra rares is like the weird talent, which is just something different. It's probably Ice Striker, if I had to assume, based on our previous pool. This is Young Hunter from a couple generations ago, so I'm going to assume that that ultra rare discrepancy is going to be Ice Striker. And given that these two are on top of each other, I'm going to assume that this top ultra rare is Ice Striker, and then this bottom one is Mighty, because Mighty seems to be the one on the bottom when it does get manifested. So if you want, so at this point, if you want to try and dodge any ballad talent you might have sticking like Ice Striker, you would just take this pet up to Ancient, see what it gets. I think I might do one more hatch, but let's see what this gets by like Ancient. All right, so I got the newest one to Ancient. It got Bringer, Proof, and Mighty. And so with that, I could, if I really wanted to, just train it up to Mega, and that would be like my first good pet with the Ice Hamster body with that pool. I'm gonna probably do one more hatch just to have some redundancy, and then I might just take them both to Mega. So let's Perot Potion. I don't have any more hatch free, so I'm going to dip into my gold here. Let's do this one, which is triple damage, Proof, and Mighty. And this only costs 45,000, which I believe has to do with, yep, it has to do with the Derby talents. So the reason that my old one costed so much was because the Derby talents had all of these ultra rares and epics and everything that upped the cost. And you can see that this is the first generation one. And then with every hatch, it got less and less and less until it was all uncommons. Or sorry, until it was all commons, which reduces the amount that it costs to hatch. So now it's only 45k, which is actually really, really good. So I don't even really need next hatch freeze anymore. And then let's hatch with this one. I'm still going to use a hatching elixir. Dawn Peanut. We might have the full pool. Let's do a check and see what the discrepancy could be if there is any. So we got Boon at the top. We got Bringer. We got Ice Giver. We got Pain Giver, Ice Dealer, Proof, Defy. And then we have... Okay, so here's where the discrepancy is. We got Mighty. And then we've got... So this top ultra rare is going to be Ice Striker still. This bottom ultra rare is the Mighty, and then we have the Epic, which is Armor Breaker. So this one doesn't have Armor Piercer in the pool, which is fine. The thing that's not fine about it, if I was going to be a perfectionist, is that it still has the Ice Striker in the pool. So I'm going to take this one up to Ancient, and then we'll see what happens, and we can go from there. All right, so I just trained the new one up to Ancient, and it got triple damage. So I'm actually going to train both of these to Epic, and see what they get, and then we'll determine if we need to use the last Perot and try and get a third body, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So I will see you back when both of these are at Epic. Alright, so I trained them both to Epic. The first one that got Bringer and Proof fully failed. I got Piercer, which means it would not be a meta pet. Like, no matter what happens if I took it to Mega, there's not a single talent it could get that would make it, like, perfect. It would always be missing some damage or some Pierce. So this one I'm going to scrap and not take to Mega. The other one, however, got Mighty at Epic. So this one is still really good. If it gets the other Giver, it could be a really good Quint damage pet. If it gets the Breaker, it could be a really good quad damage Breaker pet. If it gets Proof, it could be a good quad damage Proof pet. So this one is definitely in the running for like the best pet out of the pool. So I think what I'm going to do to make this a little bit more fun is we have quite a bit of Mega Snacks left and still quite a bit of energy elixirs. So I'm going to take this pet and do one last hatch with one that has Proof manifested. So we've got this one that has triple damage and Proof. So we're going to hatch these. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these both blind to Mega. This one I'll just fully blind all the way up. This one actually has the perfect pool and then also the 2.0 max stats. So this one will be really hard to fail. It just has to be the manifestation of the 5 talents is basically what will determine if it fails. Like if it got Piercer, Boon, Bringer, Defy Mighty, like obviously that pet is technically a fail because it doesn't get the ideal max meta stats for what I'd be going for. But I think taking this pet all the way to Mega blind could be pretty fun. So let's do that. Or first, let me pause and get this pet one away from Mega, and then we'll do the other pet, and then we'll finish them both at the same time. So I will be right back. All right, so I got Dom Peanut to 1 train away. We're gonna wait to trade it to Mega, but first we're gonna do this one. As you can see, I also put away all the other pets so that the backpack wasn't so crowded. But we're gonna be doing this pet, Baby to Mega, fully blind. I won't know what it gets, but you guys will know. And then I'll reveal at the end. I'm kind of nervous for it. I think this is my first just blind to Mega full send pet. I'm going to move my OBS so I can't see what the pet gets. 125. That should be 3 of these. Yes. Okay, yeah. So this is the first one. We're going to cover. Okay. We're going to keep training up. Ideally, what I'm hoping for is either like a triple double, a quad proof Mighty, or a quad proof Breaker. Especially on the ice, I kind of like that, having that proof. Maybe even Defy, so if I get a triple double, that'd be nice. Alright, so we got the pet going to Adult now. We're going to cover. Okay. Or we're going to take it to Ancient. And then I think after this, I'll probably have to cut between getting it up, but trust me, I won't look at the pet. I want to be as surprised. So I wish it was double pet XP, or that I wish I had a double pet XP elixir, but I don't have that. So I'm just hitting this raw. I had a lot of Mega Snacks built up because I knew I was going to be doing this video, and I knew I was going to be getting the Ice Decathlon pet. At least that kind of works out. Okay, so it got 470 out of 525. This shouldn't take it up. Okay, but the next one will, so we got to cover. Okay. I saw a little bit of the Derby talent, but I mean, that shouldn't matter. Okay, so this is 1,000. I'm gonna cut to when I'm at, or I probably won't cut. Maybe I'll do like a time lapse or fast forward through it, but I'll see you guys in real time once I'm at the 1,000 mark. All right, we're coming up on the last couple trains. 32. Okay, so this next golden wheat will take us to Epic. Covered. Okay. Now we're just on the train to getting it to Mega. Hopefully I have enough energy. I don't know if I'm going to. But I guess we'll see. I might have to just start chugging through these fancy yogurts to maximize XP, but I will see you guys when we are close to getting to Mega. Okay, last elixir. So every elixir you guys saw at the start of the video was used to make these pets. So I hope those elixirs were well used. Hopefully both of these pets don't fail. I don't even know what this pet got. It could have got the worst case scenario, but I mean, we're closing in on that mega. So I'll see you guys back in a second. Okay. This pet is one train away from mega. So let's blind it. Let's give it a fancy yogurt because it's a special little guy. He deserves it. Strain. Okay. It got to mega. I actually can't believe I did this. Let's see what it got, and then we'll move on to the other pet that was the actual pet that I was working on, and hopefully that doesn't fail at mega. What's the best way to reveal this? Is it by going into the backpack and looking at what it got, or is it going into the pet's page? Let's not beat around the bush. Let's go to the pet page. Just click I, see what it gets, and let's see. I'm hoping. Oh man, I'm hoping for triple double, quint damage, quad damage proof. Yeah, I guess let's go for it. 3, 2, 1. Oh my god! Holy shit! Dealer proof defy mighty breaker. That's insane. Do I have an ice giver to socket? I don't. I can probably get one really easily. But that is crazy. Dealer proof mighty defy and breaker. Oh my god. That's really, really good. Okay, I'm actually really happy with that. Let's see what this one gets. For this one specifically, because it's triple damage, we're looking for breaker as well. We're looking for ice giver as well. Proof would also be really good here, because if this gets proof, it would basically just be a copy of this pet, which I already have, which I don't mind that at all. I'm gonna lock that before I accidentally send it to the shadow realm. So I'll blind this pet, and then we'll see what it gets. So yeah, that's on the roster. We're looking for armor breaker, spell proof, or ice giver. Those are the 3 acceptable answers here. There are a couple fails. If it gets boon, which is this top spot, it fails. If it gets defy, I'm gonna consider that a fail. If it gets ice striker, which is right here, that's a for sure fail. But one of those other talents is definitely useful and definitely acceptable. I mean, the fancy yogurt strat worked with the last pet, so I'm going to cover up, give it a fancy yogurt. And, okay, there we go. Going straight to I, going straight to the pet screen worked last time, so I think I'm going to do that again. Yeah, let's not beat around the bush. 3, 2, 1. Oh, we got proof. Okay, perfect. So this is just a copy of my current pet. It'll be double giver, boon, and then defy, or a proof. Perfect. Okay, so we have 2 really, really good pets. On the ice, I don't really care about like quint damage or like quint damage mighty or quint damage breaker, that sort of thing. So having proof and a proof defy pet is really nice for my solo ice. So yeah, I'm gonna hopefully get some ice givers on both these pets, and I'll probably use them for the rest of Darkmoor. But yeah, let's bring this page back up. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something about pet training. If you didn't learn anything about pet training, I hope you learned about this new strategy and can use it and apply it to your own pet making. Obviously, the way I did it today was expedited a lot because I had a ton of elixirs saved up from Pet Promenade. But basically, you can do what I did today, just in a longer format, just using the energy getting refreshed, using energy refresh when you level up. If you have membership, you have a 12-hour timer instead of a 24-hour timer if you don't have membership. So you can get these pets pretty quickly using those, and obviously, whenever Pet Promenade comes around, make sure to max this out. The elixirs are very useful. The last one is an energy elixir. So in the Pet Promenade, this last elixir here is energy elixir. This is, I think, a Perot, next hatch free, then hatching elixir, I think is the order. And then on the Scroll of Fortune, bottom of page 2, this elixir right here, which you get for free, is also an energy elixir. So be sure to max out those events and, you know, play when they're going around, and you'll be able to get these pets a little bit faster. Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm surprised at the turnout of this, that this went way better than I expected. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.